What's up guys, Chasing Raymond here. Welcome to episode number 57 of Robin's Revival, and in today's episode we are going to be playing former league champions Leicester City. So no pressure, this one a bit historically significant as well, because fun fact, the last time Swindon played in the Premier League we had to beat Leicester in the playoff final at Wembley to get there. So that is a thing. I've just noticed there's a weird thing where my thing is moving behind me. Love it. Anyway, I don't know. Let's crack on, roll the titles, and let's see if we can beat Leicester. And also, transfer news. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. There's some coming up. So, per tradition, we're going to start with the league table, and we are currently still sitting in 13th. We have amassed a massive 30 points from our first 23 games, which if you'd offered me that at the start of the season, I'd probably have taken it. We'll go through how we ended up there in a second, but first I want to talk you through some of the new movements in the transfer market. So, some big departures this window. First up, Akin Odomayo has joined Pumas. I touched on this in the last episode. He has joined Pumas for £4 million, which is a pretty strong deal for us, including add-ons. It goes up a little bit. There's some sell-on stuff and some other big bits there. But he's gone to play in Mexico, and he's been with us the entire journey thus far. He has played all the way through from that first game we had in League 2, all the way back up into the Premier League, where he's made 3 Premier League appearances, which is not a bad return for a guy who previously had played nothing but non-league and Irish Premier League football. But there have been other movements. So I've loaned out Wesley and of course Gabriel as well, actually, to Karabag in Azerbaijan, Afghanistan. I think it's Azerbaijan, it is. But they're paying me £500,000 to loan this fella, and that's not bad. He's got 5 goals in 7 games in that league, but he wasn't playing for us this season, so I thought I'd just give him a chance, go play some football, see if I can sell him at the end of the season. And actually another player joined Pumas. He was a new signing and someone who went so confusing. Basically, I signed Isaku Abdul Fatawu, who is an attacking midfielder / right winger. I signed him on a free. I picked him up just on a kind of random scouting sort of survey. He didn't get a work permit, and he's gone out on loan for $1.1 million to Pumas as well in Mexico. So he'll go play alongside Akin Odomayo, who ironically he never met until he got to Mexico. Odd. But yeah, he didn't get a work permit. He looks like he could be a big player, lots of strong future for this lad, I think. But he needs to get a work permit. Hopefully playing regularly in Mexico will get him called up for Ghana, and then we can see about whether or not we get him into our first team. And the final departure was Sebastian Dawson, who never got a work permit whilst he was playing for us. I think he just got one as I was selling him, actually. But he's never got a work permit while he was playing for us, so I never used him. And then I started thinking, is this guy ever going to be more than a championship left back? And I thought, probably not. I didn't have enough faith, so I sold him to West Brom for $1.5 million. It could, however, rise up to being $9.75 million, a very kind of carefully structured deal. I think there's some details in here. Or not. Either way, the more he plays, the more money we get, and then when they sell him, which I'm sure they eventually will, he is only, 21, 19. They will eventually sell him on. Hopefully we'll see a giant chunk of that transfer fee, which hopefully will be quite big. He had a season away on loan in South Korea while he was with us as well. But, he wasn't really going to make it, I don't think, so we'll let him go. And hopefully he'll become really profitable for us in the future. But let's have a little look at who's come in as well. So the first of our reinforcements is a guy you will definitely recognise is Hector Bellerin, the Spanish international who, of course, plays for Arsenal in real life. I believe he may have joined Brighton in the game. It was an in-game signing for Brighton. Played for Brighton for a few years. Burnley paid $6 million for him after Brighton got relegated. And then Burnley have had a couple of seasons in the Championship, and I've picked him up for $2.5 million just because I felt like I needed reinforcements at the back, and he was the only defender I could sign that would improve my defence in any way, shape or form. So he's come in. He is, of course, now at the grand old age of 32, But, he still adds a few things. He'll add a bit of leadership. He'll be able to teach a few young players some things. And he's still good enough to be our best right back. So it's a really strong deal all around for $2.5 million. And I'm not done in the transfer market yet. I've also brought in a few other players. And the first of those on a free, Tommy Doyle comes in. He was with Reading last season. He's actually never really played in the top level. He has played a sub-appearance for Man City or two, I think, while he was there, but he's not actually been a Premier League regular. Had a season on loan in the Bundesliga at Hamburg, had a season in the Championship at Millwall, had a couple of other seasons in the Championship at Reading, and was at Troyes on loan in League 1. So he's travelled a little bit. He's joined us on a free, and he's just kind of there to be extra depth in midfield. It just felt like I didn't have enough bodies in midfield, certainly not enough young athletic bodies in midfield. So that was kind of what I went for as a solution. Hopefully we'll get a year or two out of it, and we'll see what we can move him on for. That's sort of the plan with Tommy Doyle. And for the future, João Maria has come in, a Brazilian 21-year-old. He's an under-20 international for Brazil. Comes from Internacional, is what they're called, in the Brazilian second division. They are in the top flight in real life. But this kid looks like a real prospect, like a really big prospect. He will fill in for us once or twice this season, probably be on the bench today, honestly. And he looks like he's got it all in terms of being a ball-winning midfielder, having potential. He's won the Copa Sudamericana. I feel good about this kid, and cost me absolutely not a single penny. Not a penny. So, great signing, I think, because he's worth 20 million already. Looking good for him for the future. And our final new signing was a bit of a gamble, actually. Elton Joshari. He looked good stats-wise, and I didn't have a full scout report on him, so I gave him a shot. He's a left-back who may or may not make it. We'll see how that goes. If he doesn't, I'm sure we'll get a few quid for him, so we'll work out pretty well for us. Comes out of Arsenal's academy. Maybe a good sign, maybe not. Let's find out. Which brings us to the What You've Missed section of the episode. Now, I believe in the last episode we played against Southampton? Was it Southampton? Let's start with Southampton. In fact, it was Arsenal. It was definitely Arsenal. We lost 4-1. And then we played West Ham. We lost 5-0. And then we played Villa. And we lost 4-2. And then we played Leicester. And we lost 1-0. Then we played Liverpool and lost 1-0, which is a pretty good result actually at Anfield, considering all things that happened in that game. We then got a 3-2 win against Sheffield United. It's been 50-50 really lately. We got a 3-2 win over Sheffield United with Lopez getting a brace and Cade Gordon scoring. We lost 5-0 to Leeds in the third round of the FA Cup, which was just a little bit humiliating, if I'm completely honest. Then we beat Huddersfield 1-0 with a goal from Jaquil Marshall-Rutty, and we have beaten Norwich 3-0 in our last game with Gibson Drama and Cade Gordon scoring. So goals coming from everywhere except really Lopez most of the time. It's a bit weird. He doesn't seem to be able to find a strong, consistent run of form. But Marshall-Rutty has also come into some form. So things balancing out quite nicely. But let's just get into this game against Leicester, see what result we can pull, and hopefully we'll get another win. So the lineup today, we're going to start with Baxter in goal, Moore at right back, Shabobua, Gibson and Drama make up the rest of the back four, Greenwich and Speckschneider in the middle. We've got Cade Gordon, McAtee and Marshall-Rutty as the attacking three, and then we have Lopez up top. João Maria and Hector Bellerin, new signings, are on the bench, with Riedebold, Paradis, Valchi, Matika, DC, Burns and Bale joining them on the bench. Brendan Land unavailable today because of being a Leicester player on loan to us. Glenn Gould unavailable through injury as well as Sumaro, and Filmar Ruiz is currently on international duty with Colombia's under-23s. So all those guys miss out, leaving me a little bit more bare bones than I would like to be squad-wise, hence Finn Burns making the bench today. But let's see what happens. I think we can probably scrape a draw here. They are a couple of places above us in the table. They are 11th, so hopefully there's still a bit of scope to steal a point or two. Remember, 40 points is traditionally the total you need to survive the Premier League. However, in recent seasons I had a look back, and actually people are surviving with somewhere around 32. So we should only need 32 to get ourselves safe. We will press and Didi. And let's go into the dressing room and see what we can do, because that's always a good idea. Carry your last ones into this match. We'll do well, and we're going to do a bit of a pumping of fists. Faith in you, get out there, make a difference. Also, because I feel like I don't give enough like Pro FM type tips when I do this, and I feel like I should give a few more. If you go into this screen on the opposition screen as you are in the dressing room, you get more suggestions from your assistant manager. You can kind of tighten up and tweak how you're going to approach the opposition, which is good. Also, they've got Zinchenko at left back, and I almost signed him last summer. Swindon were impressive last time against Norwich. How do you carry forward into this match? Just carry the confidence. First goal is crucial, absolutely. Hopeful performance. If we can reach the levels we are capable of, we will be fine. We're on the telly as well, which is always a strong performance. Well, I say a strong performance. We've crumbled on TV a lot this season. But I've got faith today. I've got faith we're going to pull it off. We are in decent form. Hopefully the players recognise they are in decent form, and will get us some form of victory today. Confirmation there you go, that we are sitting just below Leicester in the table. Should be a good mid-table clash, with hopefully the potential for us to pick up a win. And all we need to do now is kick it off, and let's see what happens. Right, Szymanski on the ball now to Sanchez. Drama picks the pocket though, and he's going on a bit of a run. He scored a wonder goal in the last game, by the way. I might show it to you if this episode feels like it's going to be anywhere shorter than about 25 minutes. Maybe I'll show you at the end of the episode as Lopez has a go on goal and doesn't quite find the net. And he's been on a weird run of form lately where I considered today picking Parody up top instead, because Lopez has not been reliable for goals. And I do have a potential solution for that coming off the transfer market, which again, we'll talk about after the game, I think. Right, goal kick for Leicester, and it's with Fofana at the back. I don't know how they've kept him in their squad this long. They must have had a decent run of success in the years we've not been paying attention. And Doyle to Brozovic. Ball goes wide to Jennings. Zinchenko with the ball forward. Szymanski has a pop from range. It's gone in. And that was why I tried to sign Zinchenko this summer. Not to play him as a left-back, although I probably would have ended up using him as a left-back because I've used everyone else there. Because he does provide some good chances. He does always seem to have some idea of where there's a good chance. And Szymanski, excellent job with the goal. And we've got it all to do to keep this one at least respectable. Although Ivan Toney getting injured will probably help us out a little bit too. Well, we've made it to half-time. It's still 1-0 to Leicester. Shaq Moore has picked up a knock, which I'm going to try and nurse him through a little longer because there's about a dozen players I could be taking off at this point. We are going to have to say that wasn't good enough. Go make amends. That feels strong. Let's do the individual shouts as well, actually, because we need to light a fire under Lopez, under McAtee, under Drama. None of them are doing good performances, it's got to be said. And hopefully we can turn this one around in the second half. Otherwise, I'm going to have to really make some changes. I mean, I think Moore's going to have to come off in the near future. Cody Drama's going to have to come off, and probably Lopez, because he's had one of those games where he's decided not to show up today. By throwing on the near side, Gibson's going to take it to McAtee. Back to Gibson, Speckschneider. Marshall Rutty cutting inside, finds Lopez, who's apparently listening to me, decided to show up in the clutch and put us back on terms. And hopefully, once he gets one goal, he'll remember that he can get more than one goal. Great build-up play between Gibson and McAtee. Finds Speckschneider. Marshall Rutty cuts inside, turns his man, lays it off. Lopez puts it round the keeper. And that is all she wrote for that one. And now we've got a chance to build on that and hopefully come back into this one. Right, Barnes on the ball, plays it back to Ndombele. Over the top though, Baxter picks this up, which means we should be the ones taking charge of this highlight. Subs-wise, Bellerin's on at right back. Riedewald is on at left back, and Vale is on as the attacking midfielder, just replacing some players who are either tiring, injured, or just underperforming. As Shabua Bua really takes his time here. Bellerin, Grilic, back to Shabua Bua, to Speckschneider, and Speckschneider ball forward to Vale, ball to Gordon. Bellerin's on the overlap. Is anyone going to find him there? Shabua Bua has time to Vale, to Grilic, out to Gordon. Gordon could use Bellerin, doesn't, plays it through for Speckschneider, who has a shot at goal, and it comes off the post. And that has gone out wide, and we're looking like we are up for this at the very least. And so we're approaching full time. It looks like this one's going to finish 1-1 unless there is some very late drama. But it's not going to be late drama. It's going to be a 1-1 draw, which is pretty respectable, all things considered, I think that might move us up the table. I'm not entirely certain. I think it might do. Look at the numbers should have won. Despite the result, trust the process is a pretty good team talk. Let's have a little look what's going to happen here. You impressed with the goal he scored? I mean, I think we were all pretty impressed with that as a goal, let's be honest. That was all he wanted to ask us about too. We haven't moved up in the table. We have gone level on points with Newcastle, which is a pretty good start at least. Gives us something to build on for the future. Now, I said I was going to talk through a couple of things after the game. We'll get into those quickly now. So I've got some players moving in and out which are worth us taking a look at first and foremost. So we'll get into that now. There is active transfer in. We're looking at signing Eddie Nketiah from Southampton for $3 million rising to $6 million. I don't know how that's going to go though, because Fulham are also interested. And apparently he would prefer to join Fulham. I remember there being something about Fulham being his preferred choice, but also, who knows? Norwich also taking a look. I think Fulham are still in the Premier League as well, so they're in the Championship, so maybe he'll just decide he wants to play Premier League football. We could have Eddie Nketiah with us by the next episode, is what I'm trying to tell you. However, on the way out, Nemanja Matika has got a lot of offers in for him. We're trying to get him to go and join Swansea for that tasty $3.5 million. In fact, I can force him to join Swansea. Do I want to do that because I know it's going to be Swansea or Huddersfield? Because I know Swansea are just paying us 3.5. Huddersfield are paying us 2.9, but with 20% of his next transfer. So either or could be a thing. Either way, we'll have a look into that. And I also promise you I was going to show you, if I can, this goal from last episode. Or from just for this episode, that Cody Drama scored. I think there's a way to do this without having to show you the whole highlights. I think. Let's have a look. I think if I click there, it does it. I think if I click there, it does it. We'll soon see. It'll load up all the thing, and we'll get the replay of this goal. I don't just take this from me. This is a potential goal of the season contender. Marshall Rutty picked up the ball here. Cut it back for Drama, cuts inside, and what a finish that was. Bear in mind, he's a left back, who I'm forcing to play. He's actually a right back, but I'm forcing him to play left back. He's cut inside, he's made that work for him, and that's worked out pretty nicely for us. But, in fact, I've just switched cameras, and we've not talked about where we're coming back next. Even though I did the math and I worked out, I know you guys hate the scrolling, I'm really sorry. I think we're going to come back off the top of my head for this Middlesbrough game because it splits the season up nicely. So we're going to come back from Middlesbrough at the middle of March. We're going to come back there. That will give us a nice even split between the 6 games we've got in there and the 6 games between that and us playing Manchester City in the season closer. So that'll be Monday's episode with Middlesbrough. Hopefully Monday's episode. Wednesday will be Man City. And then Friday should hopefully be a transfer special, which is always a beautiful, beautiful thing for us to see. Right, guys, apologies for that being a bit all over the place. I'm just burned out from the heat, if I'm really honest. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have, as always, been chasing lately, and until next time, have a good one.